This will be a short introduction to the new version of AccessAble Help Desk, version 2012. This is the client server edition. Looking at the main screen, the user will see before logging in. The sign-in screen has options to remember username, remember password, or automatically sign in. These can be shown or not shown at the choice of the customer. If you purchase the program, you can just modify the web config file to display or not display any of these options. Now, if you allow them to create their own account, they need to do that before they can sign in. You may be providing username and passwords to your end users or your customers. But we'll say that we're going to create an account. We're a new end user. So I would just use the name Joe Sample. An email address is required, and it will be checked for some validity, just to be sure that it's a valid format. I'll use a login name of Joe. Now, password right now shows is very poor because they haven't typed a password. As we type the password, this is going to indicate the strength or weakness of that password. So we're going to use capital P @ $WORD123. Now, this strength is determined based on the number of characters as well as whether you have alphanumeric only, if you have special characters, and so on. So we're going to use Joe again for the first name, Sample for the last. You can fill in the location by a drop-down box, like we have for here, for department. Now just make a couple of selections. Okay. You can put in a mailing address. The state will be selected as well from a drop-down list box. We'll just save the record for now, and we'll have created a login for Joe Sample. And now we'll sign in. If we forgot the password, we could click the link, and it would send an email with the username and password. So here we're at the screen where the user would see any request he's submitted. We just created the account, so there's none yet. So we can click here for a new request. We can click this icon to submit a new request. The user information is already filled in. We're going to now pick out a request type. And let's say acquire hardware and software. And the category is other. We can give a needed date. Let's get a little bit of time. And here as the request details. There's our request. This is from Joe Sample. Okay, so we'll save this record. You could attach a document. Throughout the program, we'll have links where you can attach a document, a Word file, Excel file, a PDF, just any type of file you can think of. Now, we've created the record. We can view it now. We don't provide an option for the user to delete their record. That link would take you to a more information about the user who submitted the request. I'll let you edit that if you were a staff member or an administrator. Let me see, here's the date and time requested. We have the option to download the file to Excel, to remove a filter, and here we only have one request, but you could again sort by showing those that are active, complete, or incomplete, or all. You could search for date. Okay, so you can say those that were requested from today until today. The search box also allows you to search the text of the details of the record. Okay. Now that's all I'm really going to do with this user, but I'll show you just a couple more things. You have options to change the language. This is languages for some of the main prompts. Search for, that's all, like in show all. This is search for date requested. Now, one of my customers, a friend of mine, is in the United Arab Emirates. And so for that, we would choose Arabic as the language. And we'll see we have the Arabic words for some of the same fields. Okay, I'm going to go back to the English language, which is the language I'm most comfortable in. We also have options here for the user to select a color scheme. This is something that can also be set in the web config file. If you don't like the default provided, you can change that and it will be the same for everyone who logs in. And I'll go back to, I think mission was pretty good. So this gives the user's interface, and here you see he's welcomed. I'm going to sign out as a user and go back in and edit the request that he just put in. So now that I'm not signed in as just a standard user, I have many more menu options. Of course, we have sorting. Those are underlined column headings. By default, it's going to sort by date with the most recent at the top. All right. And of course, we have filtering. So I might say I want a status of new. You see I have several new requests. I want to narrow it down some more and get all those requests that were submitted today and only today. Now I have this request that I had done earlier as an admin, but I'm looking at my request. This is default to show my request. Instead, we want to show all requests by all people. I was wondering where that request was from Joe Sample, and here it is. It's at the top of the list. So again, I'll just do the same things I did before. I just want to filter on new, and I'll filter on date requested was today through today. And I could also search for text. I'm going to leave that for later. First we'll go and show the filtering on the dates. Then I'll show you remove the filter. In fact, I can leave it because I've got two requests now. One from logged in as my admin account and one from Joe Sample. So now I'm going to search for site license or say help desk. Could search for accessible just as well. And so now we see only one record, which is the one that we're going to edit that we entered a few minutes ago. Now the status currently is new. We can mark that as active. We can say it's assigned to me. You can't actually assign a request back to the end user. For example, I'm going to put first a site license needs to be purchased. Complete. And purchase order and submit to accounting. Anyway, we're just demonstrating some samples. Now one thing is I have a checkbox. If I click this box, it's going to fill in the value that's assigned to with completed by. It'll put the date completed, date and time. And when I save the record, it will fill out the number of minutes, days, hours to complete it. So let's just follow through with this and save the record. Okay, now we need to remove the filter that has the status of new. And let's say status is now complete. And here's our record. And we can just view it rather than edit it again. And this will show again 6 minutes to complete. Some of the other menu options, just to show you quickly, we have computers and charts about computers. It may be interesting to see an operating system pie chart. And here you can click on the label or on the individual legend, and this will open up a new screen with details with the computer record filtered by the operating system. Same thing for requests. If you look at a chart that is by status, if you click on any of these slices, you'll open a new screen to show the same information as displayed in the chart. We have a basic knowledge base. And this will allow you to record or search information. Again, searching through the sample text here. And also you can attach files. In this case, I've attached a file. Back to computers quickly. I'll just show a little bit more about the filtering options you have there. by department, status, MAC, and